The other big political story of the last 24 hours, the confirmation late last night, the National Task Team running the ANC Youth League on behalf of the ANC's National Executive Committee deciding to back Zweli Mkhize for the position of ANC leader in December and not President Cyril Ramaphosa. Also, support for Paul Mashatile for the position of deputy leader of the ANC. Up until this point, the only formal structures which had backed Mkhize were the province of KwaZulu-Natal and several regions in that province. Rebone Tau is a political analyst and author, wrote a book called The Rise and Fall of the ANC. Rebone, nice to see you. Thanks very much indeed for coming in. As I understand it, the ANC Youth League, it's a structure, but it's run by a task team, so it hasn't been elected into office, it's been appointed. How important is this decision by the task team to support Mkhize?
I mean, the task team itself, they've got executive powers that the national executive of the Youth League would enjoy. So they do enjoy that support, but I think also the Youth League is going through a lot, Going through a lot in a sense that if you really look at the history of the Youth League, since the expulsion of Julius Malema, all has not been well in the Youth League. There's been so many task teams of the Youth League since 2013, when the first one was appointed, up to now. It will mark 10 years next year with the Youth League just being run by task teams, because yes, there was an NEC led by Colin Maine, but that Youth League also was nowhere to be seen. It was absent, on the ground in terms of its role, which is the twin task of the Youth League is to rally young people behind the banner of the ANC and champion young people's interests. And the Youth League has been failing to do that.
I mean, in this case, you have also older people that it's supporting. I mean, Mkhize may be very energetic, but he's not young. They're supporting Fikile Mbalula. He's older than I am. That makes him old. The point I'm making is that it doesn't seem that there's a generational mix battle going on in the ANC. It doesn't seem that there are younger people. I mean, Newzroom Afrika may be sort of of the younger generation. He doesn't seem to be getting support. It seems that the Youth League, to sort of carry on your point, is not pushing for younger leaders.
Well, one can argue. Pulemabi, who served with Julius Malema in that NEC as the Treasurer General, has been pronounced by the Youth League, right? And in the Youth League, there's a notion that says you can't lead before those that have led you. So probably, if you look at Lamola being there, Kensane, both of them being Youth Leaguers, but Pule and Mbalula led the Youth League before them, So there is no crisis. We need to understand, what does generational mission mean. It does not mean that you speak about yourselves who are leading, but you can also speak about your former leaders, because the ANC has failed when it comes to the succession plan. The generation of Peter Mokaba, at one point we thought we'll one day see them leading the ANC. We have not seen from the generation of Peter Mokaba anyone, swelling the ranks into the top 6 of the ANC.
It's interesting to me, I mean, you make the point correctly that it was 2013 when the ANC Youth League really last had a voice. I wonder sometimes if they're ever going to have a conference and actually reconstitute themselves and ever be a force in our politics again. And I find this amazing, because Julius Malema, as leader of the ANC Youth League, was an incredible force. So was Fikile Mbalula. So was Malusi Gigaba. So was Peter Mokaba before them. I mean, it really was an important body. Do you think it'll ever be like that again? Especially, I mean, in a country where our political problems affect young people the hardest, and it seems that young people are the ones not voting.
Unfortunately, there was a deliberate effort to destroy the Youth League. Because the Youth League, under Julius Malema, was very powerful, And the ANC leadership felt that they can't have a Youth League that is this powerful than some of the leaders within the ANC. And that's why, before that decision to disband, because the Youth League matter was discussed at conference in 2012. And some at conference said, we will not disband the Youth League here. We give the responsibility to the incoming NEC to discuss the matter of the Youth League. And there were options, that were debated, because now the Julius Malema being expelled, the late Cindy Somakaka being suspended, probably that the Youth League should go to an NGC and fill up these vacant positions. And we had Floyd Shivambu, who was the spokesperson, also being suspended. But the ANC deliberately decided not to agree to this thing, because the Youth League at the time was consulting in the different regions whether to go for an early Congress of the Youth League or a PGC. When they are supposed to go back to the ANC and report to the ANC that after consulting with the different structures of the Youth League, this is our position. The ANC decides to dissolve it. And you look at the Youth League over years, you look at even the Youth League that emerges in 2015 under Colin Maine, you can see that also, I mean, that Congress of the Youth League, there was no election. You know, from president to the last additional members, it did not go to ballot, you know. So and this is the ANC that was overseeing. Even now there are rumors, you know, that we've been hearing for the past few weeks that they want to also disband this NEC. And my view is that, as someone who has written a book on the Youth League, that the Youth League has lost its character over the years. You need a Youth League that will revive the activism. A Youth League that will be led by activists, not by careerists, you know, who are there for their own selfish interests. So the Youth League, putting another task team after this conference, I don't think that will resolve the Youth League. I think the Youth League must be dissolved, all structures, and allow the Youth League to come back organically. Because some are in the Youth League because their role, they know that they are collecting monies from some of the ANC leaders, they will get deployment and so forth. So that has become a problem where the Youth League is now a lobby group more than anything. I mean, yes, fine, they've made the pronunciation, you know, on their position for leadership preference. But in terms of the politics behind, you know, if you look at the Youth League of Bomandela, they had a program of action that was driving when they went to Xuma and said to Xuma, if you support our program of action, we will support you. And then they went to Morocco, and Morocco said, I support this program of action. And that program of action then gets adopted by the ANC. And 2011, by the way, those resolutions were merely a reminder of the program of action of the Youth League then.
And then the importance of this for Mkhize. I mean, up until now, his support really has been in KwaZulu-Natal. And I mean, a strong province, the most powerful province in terms of numbers. Do you think he has a chance at this stage?
I think let's wait for the consolidation of the nominations, because as provinces might have pronounced, but nominations on the ground, I can tell you that in Gauteng, there are branches that were nominating Mkhize, you know. So it's not like Cyril Ramaphosa, by the virtue of being pronounced by the ANC in Gauteng, that automatically meant that branches. So I think we should wait for the consolidated list by the electoral committee so that we can see in terms of who got more support where. But this conference can go either way. And this, obviously, I mean, if you look at the Cyril Ramaphosa, they weakened themselves when they removed Stan Mathabate from Limpopo on their slate, when they removed Paul Mashatile on their slate, and they put people who are not commanding any support in their respective provinces in the slate of the president. That has made President Ramaphosa's slate much weaker, and it seems to be giving Zweli Mkhize an upper hand, but it's not yet over until conference as things stand. Because what is funny, for the first time, we'll not be seeing PGCs, you know, because normally PGCs will give us the mood, you know, building up to the conference. So we'll only know at the conference itself, which I think will bring challenges for the ANC, that conference in December.
Rebone Tau, thanks for coming in. Really do appreciate it. Thank you. Political analyst and, of course, an author about a book about the ANC Youth League.